Race cars are loud, uncomfortable, violent machines, so the fact that the 2023 BMW M4 CSL is also loud, uncomfortable, and violent should arguably be scored in the pros column of this review. It's proof that this limited edition M4 isn't a lame paint and badging nostalgia job. Instead, the CSL represents a rare instance of truth in advertising. It is the race car for the road that BMW claims it is. Stripped of basic comforts and boosted with an extra 40 horsepower, the CSL is the quickest BMW M3 or M4 motor trend has ever tested. Its track tires and hardened chassis help it steer with alacrity and the tactile feedback that's missing from so many modern BMWs. We're just skeptical that there's a use case for a road car this intense other than as a garage-kept, long-term financial investment. You see, driving the M4 CSL is a memorable experience but not a particularly pleasant one. It will grab you by the crown jewels, rough you up, then take your kids' lunch money and their entire college fund. Literally. A hump in the pan of the carbon fiber bucket seat presses into your crotch like a 5-point harness. The ride on public roads is brutal, and the $140,895 price makes the CSL nearly $60,000 more expensive than the M4 competition. Squeezing your legs between the steering wheel and the carbon fiber bucket's tall thigh bolster feels a lot like climbing over a roll cage. Anyone sliding behind the wheel should take it as a warning of what comes next. When you drive the M4 CSL, you're also entering a cage match with the road. Attack a fast, winding two-lane in the CSL, and the pavement hits back with every crack and heave. Along with the stiffer, 0.3-inch lower suspension, several bushings have been replaced with unforgiving ball joints, and the rear subframe is rigidly mounted to the body. These changes turn every impact into a bare-knuckled punch to the spleen. You might think you're hardcore enough to take it, but our experience suggests that if the fight lasts long enough, the road will always win. The upshot of such a stiff chassis is that there's almost nothing standing between the driver's intentions becoming the car's actions. The responses are so immediate and the feedback is so direct that you must consciously focus to process all the signals flooding your senses. With so much compliance removed from the chassis, there's seemingly nothing filtering out the steering feel, either. The front tires telegraph descriptive little stories of what's happening at the pavement, delivering more steering feel than any BMW from the past decade. To earn the lightweight in the CSL acronym, the M4 adopts those fixed-back carbon fiber seats, carbon ceramic brakes, forged aluminum wheels, a titanium muffler, plus a roof, trunk, and hood rendered in carbon fiber. The sound deadening has either been replaced with lighter insulation or pitched into the dumpster along with the rear seat, and fussing over the grille, the taillights, the floor mats, and the automatic climate control trims a claimed 8 pounds. BMW says it all adds up to a 240-pound weight savings, though our scales say the difference is considerably less. At 3,590 pounds, the two-door M4 CSL checked in 155 pounds below the four-door BMW M3 competition we tested in 2021. How quick is the BMW M4 CSL? The acceleration run is actually the least violent part of the whole experience. Launch control starts the torque converter 8-speed automatic in second gear and only revs the 3.0-liter twin-turbo inline-6 to 2,500 revolutions per minute at a standstill. Combine that with the dogged grip of the Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2R tires, and the M4 CSL takes off like it has all-wheel drive. There's no wheel slip and no rear-end wriggle, and in those first few heartbeats when your foot lifts off the brake, the launch feels sluggish. Just wait. Intensity builds in direct proportion to the engine speed, so rather than the jarring violence of the suspension, the 3.0-liter twin-turbo inline-6 wins up to its 7,200 RPM payoff. The boost has been turned up from 24.7 to 30.5 psi, but the engine is still more of a screamer than a grunter. Torque is unchanged at 479 pound-feet, and the drama only starts above 6,250 revolutions per minute, where the six-cylinder makes its peak 543 horsepower. The all-wheel drive, 503 HP M3 competition digs out of the hole harder with a 3.0 second 0-60 run compared to the M4 CSL's 3.2 seconds. That gap closes just moments before the two cars barrel through the quarter-mile mark after 11.1 seconds. At that point, the CSL is traveling at 128.8 miles per hour versus the M3 odds 124.7 miles per hour. Should you find yourself with an empty space shuttle landing strip filling the windshield, BMW says the CSL will pull all the way to 191 miles per hour. An imperfect hero. Hit the brakes from speed though, and you're never quite sure what you're going to get. Stops from 60 miles per hour ranged from 106 feet up to 119 feet and eventually down to 102 feet, making the M4 CSL the most inconsistent stopper we've tested in recent memory. It's not a matter of heat. Rather, the ABS system is easily spooked by small changes in grip. Even though our 1.6-mile concrete straight features level slabs and tight expansion joints, the CSL repeatedly dialed back too much braking force for too long as it modulated the pressure at the calipers. The binders are much more reliable if you stay out of the anti-lock algorithm, with the pedal providing firm, positive feel and the carbon ceramic system showing no signs of fading during hard use. In our Figure 8 test, which combines stopping, turning, and accelerating, we were surprised to find the CSL resists changing directions when you place any additional load on the front tires. Trail brake it into a corner, and it stubbornly understeers, and while you can rotate the car with a stab of the throttle, a car with this kind of pedigree should be more neutral. The Michelins arrived looking like we weren't the first to abuse them, and after fighting understeer for a handful of laps around the Figure 8, the front started dropping square chunks of rubber. We pressed pause on going faster, which then became a permanent stop when we learned that there wasn't another set of BMW Spec Cup 2 rupees in the country. The numbers we're publishing here, 1.02 grams of lateral grip and a 23.7 second Figure 8 lap, are far below what this car is capable of. There's a lot more in the M4 CSL, which BMW claims as its fastest production model to lap the Nürburgring Nordschleife racetrack, but exactly how much, we can't say. Drivers wanted. In an era when nothing is sacred in Munich, enthusiasts should say a little hallelujah that the 2023 BMW M4 CSL exists and has the right number of doors. BMW has retconned the acronym to replace the first word of Coupe Sport Leichtbau, Coupe Sport Lightweight, with the word competition, which seems like the first step in trying to make an X5 MCSL or some other four-door performance BMW a thing. For the moment though, the modern CSL faithfully adheres to the 51-year-old idea launched with the BMW 3.0 CSL and last revived by the 2003 M3 CSL. It'd be easy to ask for a more compliant car, but it's hard to argue with BMW's commitment to speed in a niche, track-capable product inspired by a homologation special. We wish BMW had fixed the ABS calibration, made the chassis more neutral, and ditched the racecar cosplay. The blue-tinged exhaust tips give this car far more credibility than the exposed carbon fiber, garish racing strips, and yellow running lights. All of that, though, is likely moot. Given the stratospheric price and the fact that the 1,000 car production run will make the M4 CSL even rarer than the 1972 3.0 CSL, these cars were destined to be collector's pieces no matter how they drove. For that reason, it's even more impressive that the M4 CSL drives like few other sports cars on sale today.